Peace and grand rising to the sovereign, original, indigenous, natural, divine heirs. Today it is 2025 on the ancient civic calendar and the ancient moon calendar. It's 2025 on the ancient sun calendar until March 21st. It's 5785 on the ancient Hebrew Israelite calendar. Those are our sons. The Hebrew Israelites are our sons. And it's 10,066 on the ancient Yoruba calendar. All rise and stand and remain standing into perpetuity and in alignment and accordance with the ancient Noahide laws as stated by this Holy Congress. This is a sovereign living ancient, Article 3, Moorish American Moroccan Universal Court Action. We are the sovereign living justices and Egosum, Pauline Denise Ritchie. My free chosen sovereign appellation is Light Tajiri Bay. All are in capitis diminution nolo in red ink, in propria persona sui juris, in proprio solo, and in proprio heredes. We are capite et corpus juris legalis, which is our statement that we are the lawful and legal natural living head and body for our empire. All Moors are the original indigenous sovereign ancient Al-Moroccan Moorish American ascendants of the great pharaohs of Kemet and of the ancient Moabites, Canaanites, Israelites, Hamites, Cushites, and the ancient Moabites, Canaanites, Shemites, Israelites, Cushites, and Hittites. Our full faith and trust, our allegiance, our honor, our credit, and our energy are hereby vested in ourselves, for we are the people who are the original indigenous, sovereign, ancient, Al-Moroccan, Moorish American, ancient Moroccan Empire. We're the de jure Moorish National Republic federal government. We are ancient Washington District for Columbia. We're the Universal Moorish American Consulate and the Earthwide Article 3 Moorish American Consular Court. We are the law, and we are the original indigenous, natural, divine, sovereign, ancient Article 3 living United States District for Columbia Court. We are the sovereign fiduciaries, original creditors, executors, trustees, divine ministers, possessors, grantors, grantors, and title trustors for all causes for action. We are peace. We are one nation, one state, one empire, and one God. We hereby recognize ourselves and accept our sovereign divine ascension. We do possess in our custody all land, all natural resources, and all commerce. We, the true living God nation, are not at war, and we demonstrate all eternal, ancient, original, sovereign rights at this time and at all points in time, non-pro-tunc. Islam. We will open the table so that we can commune one with another.
Where's your Land Rover and seesaw factory?
Let's make sure that we Islam Empress.
It's funny that you bring that up about more of us putting the law on out in the public, but what I'm considering is because it's been on my mind too. I've always wanted to set up a store where I do bumper stickers and T-shirts and that type of thing. But I want to do a Moorish where the Moors can come and they know that they can get, the paraphernalia we need to, to show our presence on the land, and also statements from the law. There may be some little satire, some beauty that goes along with the bumper sticker, but we all sit in traffic.
Even those crazy Negroes that didn't come in your fucking store.
We want to do something with our mind. Why not read the law? So that's been on my mind too. I just wanted to share that. Islam.
Well, thank you for that, Empress. The thing that I found to be most effective when Moors are feeling that way and thinking that way about what they will to do, our suggestion, and we've had to do it ourselves, is to just go ahead and prepare the store, get the store ready, because when you build it, they're going to come. So if that is your will, go ahead, get all the stuff ready, get all of the materials ready, get things arranged. I did not have to have a building out there in order to get the sea salt things ready. The ancestors just said, go ahead and start doing it. Go ahead and start doing it right where you are with the materials that you have. Use what you have at this moment. No matter who you are, Moors, use what you have and pull it together to build whatever it is that you will to build. I know that for us, even with the Moorish American Consulate and the Moorish National Republic federal government and the things that we've built in our courts and everything, all of that started with us just saying, okay, we're just going to do something. We're just going to do it. We're just going to do it. You know, we may not, I didn't even have a gavel when I first started with the courts, you know, doing court action.
Your imaginary ancestors are lost.
I didn't even have a gavel. I didn't have my own gavel. So I used a meat tenderizer. But I did it, and the ancestors honored it, and now I have a gavel that says Chief Justice Light Tajiri Bay, a Moorish American Consular Court. It's personalized.
But you still don't have a seesaw back.
But I started where I started. The ancestors said, just do it. Just do it, like the Nike commercial. So just use what you have to get started, but you must start now. Everyone, you must start now, because our money is already here. Our courts are already here. Everything that we need, we already have it. We don't even have to get anything additional. We have everything we need. You know what? Also, you can just look at other people and what they started with. Most people started with nothing, really. I mean, even when we first started talking about doing things, our Grand Sheikh Taj Tariq Bey said, just get started and we'll clean it up as we go. He knew the power of just going ahead and just start right where you are. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be perfect to start with, because it's going to be pure. It doesn't have to be perfect like you see it in the way TV showed it to you. See, TV and tell-live vision, all of that would have you think that you have to have $1 million just to start a court, when really all you have, you already have everything you need to do a court action. Period. The ancestors said, just do it. And here's the thing about, and I learned this early, Morris. I learned this early. If there's something that the ancestors have impressed upon you or inspired you to do, it is best that you go ahead and get started doing it with what you have. You know why? Because either way it goes, you're going to have to do it anyway. We knew that
you're going to go inside.
We had our courts. We had our courts going, you know, they had to start anyway for us. They had to start. And we hesitated for a moment. And the ancestors said, okay, we're going to give you a little push, like. So what did they do? The ancestors said, okay, let's make a situation happen here and see what she does, see how she responds. Because we know she'll start doing court actions when faced with that type of a situation. So what they did was they had the actors previously acting as police to just come and knock on the door for 3 weeks straight in 2018. They just kept knocking. Every morning they would come and knock on the door. The ancestors knew that I had already terminated all corporate contracts, so they didn't have a contract. That means they couldn't kick the door in. So the ancestors said, we just gonna get on her nerves. And we just gonna have them to keep going. Get on her nerves, go knock on the door every morning at 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, even on Saturdays and Sundays, and just do it until she does a court action. Because I had already done one court action about 6 months before that happened. And when I did that one court action, the ancestors said, okay, now we know she knows what to do.
Yeah, you're full of shit.
So now let's give her a test. The test won't be anything too hard for her. It won't be too hard. It won't be too scary. It won't be too whatever. But it will be enough to push, give her the little push that is necessary for her to start doing court actions. And the policy enforcers, actors from that previous era, they would come every day. And as you all know, in the previous era, if actors came and pulling up in your driveway and knocking on the door for 3 weeks straight, ego is going to tell you that the neighbors are wondering what's going on. Why do they keep coming to your house every day, knocking on the door in full regalia? And but I didn't care about that. That to me wasn't even the issue, because they're criminals until they declare who they really are. They're already criminals, or they were criminals. So
that's because you're fucking delusional.
What I did was I said, okay, ancestors, y'all gonna have to tell me what to do, because number one, I'm not gonna capitulate. I'm not gonna open the door. I'm not gonna talk through the door. I'm not gonna do any of that. What I am gonna do is get up in the window. I'm gonna take a photo of all of that out there, and then I'm gonna do a court action. And I did the court action, and they stopped completely. Like, I did the court action that day. The next day, no one came, and they didn't come after that. The ancestors just willed that to give us a little push. And after that experience, I stated to the ancestors, I said, you all don't have to, I don't need those kinds of pushes. If you will to give those kind of pushes, yeah, but I don't need them. I don't need them. I'll do what I'm supposed to do because I know I'm supposed to do it. And we've been operating that way since then. We just, at that time, that was 2000, we weren't even, we were just, let me see, were we a year old then in Moorish science? We were about a year and a few months in Moorish science.
You mean in Pan?
So we didn't know that we had the authority to just start doing court actions, because this is the point. We thought that we had to have what the people on TV had, where they would have a jury box and they would be at a separate building and they would have a jury of 12, people, peers or whatever. And you have to know everything and have everything in place. And you have to have a gavel and you have to have a robe and all of that stuff. And, but to just get up and just grab what you have, get what you have, but you must speak the law. So that's what we did. We just turned on the camera. That first time we didn't even have a robe, so we just wore a dress and our turban and our meat tenderizer, because we were just going to do what the ancestors told us to do. And we did the court action. And then by the time we did the second court action to stop them from knocking on the door, the ancestors had given us a little more information and a few more things to do, to make us feel more comfortable, but we didn't need those things. So just start where you are. That's the point. With whatever you have, start right where you are. Islam, Empress.
I'm kind of the queen of the new starts. So that's not one of my fears. And so I agree with you. Just, we start wherever you are. You don't know how you're going to get it done. Just get up every day and you start, in that direction. But what you said about your own experience, it reminds me of the Little Rascals. They were they held court in a barn let's see, alfalfa kissed the girl, and it was against the guy's law, so they held court. I felt like they were trying to teach me something because they did a very intelligent court.
Yeah.
This show is trying to teach me something. So it sort of, and they didn't have all the, the gavel and, the gown and all of that stuff. They pulled their little, whatever they had, their toys and things, and sat there and in the barn, and they held, and it was serious. They held court.
Yeah.
So that scene, what you described, remind me of that scene that I felt like something was being conveyed to me. You don't need to look like this in order to get the business done. That's what I'm trying to convey.
Yeah.
Islam.
We affirm, Empress Cynthia, Chief Justice, we affirm that, because who knew we would even be where we are today with the Moorish American Consulate and the Moorish National Republic federal government and all that we've done since that time period. Who knew we would be where we are today? And we still, at the time, didn't know that where the resources were going to come from, but the ancestors said, get it done. So we said, well, if it's one thing we're going to do, we're going to do what the ancestors have sent us to do. That's for sure. And they will clear the path. We're going to do, and they will clear the path. And that has happened 100%. 100%. So start with what you have. Even with the sea salt, we already have everything that we will to have. We've begun. We have the everything is numbered, but we don't have 30 tons of sea salt right here on this premise, but it's right down the way. If we just will to do the work, it's there. We have trillions and trillions upon trillions of dollars in sea salt 4 minutes away, 5 minutes away. It's just a matter of pulling it, processing it, packaging it, and getting it out. For Dollarium, gold and silver. The Dollarium is a part of the trust of the Moors. So each Moor has $100 million in their trust. And then the monies can come from your trust, or you can send gold and silver or Moorish sovereign Dollarium, and that's just how we do our business, so we have no excuse to do what the ancestors have stated that we do. None of us have an excuse. So with that being stated, are there any questions, comments, wisdom about going ahead and getting started with whatever vision you have and what you see for yourselves and for this nation? And then we can support each other always. Those who have things that you're doing, commerce and business that you're doing, and mercantilism that you're doing, we're happy to support. We're happy to support, and we will send gold or silver or Moorish sovereign Dollarium, or exchange it for service for sea salt or assistance with with an affidavit or something of that nature. We're already doing that. We've been doing that for years now. That's how we do business. That's how we do commerce and mercantilism.
Islam.
So, Islam, Empress.
Yes, I have a question as it relates to using the trust, purchasing sea salt.
Yes.
What would be that process, actually?
So that process would be a simple affidavit stating that you authorize us to pull however much in Dollarium from your trust, or gold and silver from your trust, and it's just paperwork. It's just a matter of an affidavit stating that you give us the authority to pull from your trust. And then all we do on our end to pull from your trust is print some Dollarium up, put it with that affidavit, and that's the payment. We just need to have your signature on the affidavit, and then we print up the Dollarium and we pull it from your trust, and we just make a note in our records that this came from your trust and it was for seall, and then we send you the seall. Because we're all the bank too. We're all, you know, the wealth is our wealth. It's that simple. It's that simple among us. And even the subjects can do an affidavit and say, you know, that they want some seall, and we will pull from the public trust for the subjects to have some seall too, if they want to do that. So, you know, everything is for everyone where commerce is concerned, because it has to be. And resources is something that we do not lack. There's no lack in resources. You know, Chief Justice Imani, you have $100 million in your trust. It's just a matter of, do we all trust one another to say, hey, pull $1,000 from my trust and send me some seall. Pull $1,000 from my trust and send me some seall. I pulled a certain amount from my trust to even get the seall and stuff started. And that way I was able to compensate myself for the time and everything, because it's a government-backed process. So I just pulled from my own trust a certain amount to start everything, and then I began to pull the resources together. The ancestor said, you know, showed me how to do that at a cost that was so minimal. And so I said, okay. And they said, get these containers, do this. So, and then pull the natural resource. And then always keep your court actions in mind and all of that. And we've done that. And now we're to the point where our seall is done in weights and measures, just as we stated that it should be. It's done according to the way our ancestors did things, and we're able to get it out. And fortunately, the demand for it is super high for the seall. It's very high. However, fortunately, it has not overwhelmed us in terms of getting it out. And I know that's according to the ancestors. They've done that. It's made it so that we're not so overwhelmed with that we don't get the other things done that are necessary, such as, you know, Congress each week and affidavits and demonstrations and things of that nature. So, you know, yeah, we can pull from any of we can pull from anyone's trust with your permission. And that would be for anything that we have to do, whether it be consultations on matters, whether it be seall, whether it be, what else? Anything else that we do. You know, we have with your permission, we have the authority to pull from your trust, but we have to have something in writing, whether you send it by email or however, but we would discuss it first. We would meet and discuss it first. And then once we come to an agreement on whatever it is, then we would do that. That way we know that we know those who labor among us, you know. We would meet on free conference call and talk, you know, like we've done with some of you over the past few weeks. We've met with you via video conference and you know, connected that way, so that we know that it's you, and you know that it's us, and that trust and that bond is formed, you know, or continued rather, and then we just go from there. Islam.
Perfect, because I think at some point I would like to purchase sea salt.
Sure. Sure. We have a few of them already packaged up, and I'll just say this about that. What we are being inspired to do, and Empress Cynthia, this is along the lines of what you stated earlier about the process. The ancestors are putting it in our hearts and on our minds to prepare as much sea salt as possible over the next 2 to 3 months. And then by March 20th, we're going to essentially just say, okay, anyone who wills to trade on what we have as a nation. See, what would be ideal, and what the ancestors have spoken to us, is that everyone who has anything that they see for themselves, no matter how small, that we plan for a nationwide commencement of commerce on March 21st. So what that looks like is that, like here, Empress Ravana and I will prepare as much sea salt and other things, because we have other things that we will to trade. And any others, we all state whatever it is that we have to trade. Okay? Even if that means just going in your closet and tagging a few things, it doesn't even matter how small or how large it is. Tag some things and say, I have this to trade, and we accept gold, silver, Moorish sovereign Dollarium, or whatever else that you have. We can do an exchange that way as well. And if there be any space in between, we'll fill it with Dollarium or gold and silver coins. You know, that way we can publish what everyone has, because remember we talked about that, and we showed a catalog. So it doesn't have to be sea salt or natural resources. It can just be an overage of something that you have. And we could say that on March 21st, we're going to do like a 3-day come on, or whatever the case, whatever we will to call it, a 3-day introduction to Moorish commerce nationwide and really earthwide. And everyone be willing to take as consideration gold, silver, Moorish sovereign Dollarium, or an exchange of products. You know, sea salt for if you make stoneware or whatever the case may be. Because that has to start somewhere, and it might as well start with us, since we have our own money system. But it's going to require all hands on deck. It's going to require us to actually put our money where our mouth is.
Islam, I have a quick question.
Islam.
So once we trade with more sovereign Dollarium, And so we're receiving that from another member.
Mm-hmm.
Are we able to spend that one?
Mm-hmm.
Because it has their authentication on it and their signature.
Yes, and we can trade that among each other. So if, as an example, if Empress Shasha gave you some more sovereign Dollarium for whatever it is, you could then turn around and give me that more sovereign Dollarium that she gave you for sea salt or whatever. So our money is good among each other. Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
And then there's no need to re-authenticate, correct? Okay.
No need to do that, because as we're doing what we're doing, it's more sovereign Dollarium, so it's spendable. It's not spendable. It's vestable. It is to be vested among us all. Because see, at some point, you may even, for example, one of our subjects sent some of the most amazing, it was just straight off the bush mint and thyme and oregano, and one of the subjects sent it where I believe she grows it somewhere in her neighborhood or in her area, and she sent it. Well, I could have sent her some Dollarium, and then she can take that Dollarium and buy things with it too. Now, the only difference between us and the subjects is that the subjects don't sign Dollarium. They can get it from us and they can use it, but they can't sign it. Just like when we were in the previous era, we weren't signing fiat notes. It had signatures on it, but we weren't able to sign it, or they would have said that's counterfeit. So it has to have a signature on it by one of us. Okay. So back in what is all that noise? Stop the noise. Okay. So it doesn't matter who it is. Anybody can use more sovereign Dollarium, but the only ones who have the authority to sign it is Moors, because each one of us is the currency controller, and we also, each one of us is the trust is our trust. We are the trustors for more sovereign Dollarium. So we voted it in. So we voted it in, and then we said, okay, this is the medium that this is the medium by which gold is transferred up among us, because more sovereign Dollarium is gold receipt.
Islam, I have another question.
Mm-hmm.
So how would that look? Hopefully I'm using the right term.
Mm-hmm.
How would it look from an accounting perspective? So say, for example, I send you 1,000 in Dollarium, sovereign Dollarium, for sea salt.
Mm-hmm.
So I would do a credit on my book for 1,000 in sovereign Dollarium.
So you would take 1,000 out of your trust, and I would put 1,000 in from your trust. So you would take 1,000 out, but see, your credit comes beforehand. Your trust is the credit in the first place. That's the credit, and then the debit of it, not the debt, but the movement of it over to our books would be pulling it from your trust there.
Okay.
You want to keep a record, because this is about record keeping. Okay, this is all about like how This is about how well we keep our records.
Correct. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking from the experience in the past enactment.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at the accounting records. So
Mm-hmm.
we have the credit,
mm-hmm.
and then we have the debit.
Yes.
So, and we're controlling both sides.
Action. Yeah. Yes.
So the credit, okay, I think I get the credit, like what you were saying. So the credit is the trust.
Thanks for showing your stupidity. You're so stupid. You're so silly.
Go ahead, Embry.
And then when the 1,000 comes out of the trust, which is the credit,
mm-hmm.
and it goes to the debit side, saying that we spent or we covered.
You will say
1,
that you,
fucking delusional bitch.
You will say in your books first you have $100 million credit over here on this side.
Yes, yes.
Then
yes.
you just record that you sent light or this company, whatever the company is. For us, it would be the ancient matriarch sea salt company. You would just say that you put you sent some credit there to the ancient matriarch sea salt company, and then because see, you're going to log in, you're going to keep a record of the affidavit that said that yes, I can pull that in. You send it, and I pull it in right out the atmosphere. Because that's how banks did it too in the previous era in their enactment.
Only in your fantasy land.
They would just call each other and say that Miss Wilson is going to be moving all her money from your bank to my bank. So you take all of her money off of your books and I'll put it on my books.
Oh, got it. Okay.
That's really all they did.
So we're really doing the memo.
Yeah. And the memo is the record, it's the approval, and then you have a spreadsheet where you just say, okay.
Right, and the affidavit.
Yeah.
That links to that transaction, I guess.
Yeah, because the affidavit will have a number, whether and that number is whatever you will that number to be. It could be, I number mine by the date, whatever that date is. I do year, month, and day, and then let that be affidavit number 1 for that year, month, and day. And if I do 5 affidavits in one day, then it'll be year, month, and day plus 01 or whatever, 02, 03, 04. Those will be the transaction or the action number, and it's also the affidavit number so that I can match affidavits with my spreadsheet to see what went out and what came in.
And then we laugh at your silly asses.
And so we just, it's just a matter of record keeping.
Right. Islam, I think I have that idea clear.
Now, where the benefits of this type of record keeping comes in is that as we grow our businesses and our commerce and our venues and our trade and our banking, as we grow, it's going to cause everyone to grow at the same time, and you'll have more buying power. Because that's really what this is about. For example, I already know that we have $1 trillion in buying power. We have that today. Okay? We have $1 trillion in buying power, and that's because the sea salt is right there. All I have to do is go there, pick it from the ocean, take it from the ocean, and process it and get it out there. If we do a public program for sea salt because of the healing nature of it, then we can pull from the public trust for that. We can pull from the public trust for that. And then just send it out to everybody freely, randomly, whether they requested it or not. And if they decide that they don't will to have it, then we'll just say, well, if you could pass it to someone who does want it, that way what we pulled from the public trust will go to still healing and helping someone. So, and that's also going to make it so that no matter what we send out, even if it's mangoes, oranges, and watermelons, or peaches and plums and pears and grapes, we can send that out and everyone will have plenty, and the merchants can pull from the public trust to get that out to people. You know, ideally, people will sign up for the public program, and they will say, okay, and we'll say, okay, each month we're going to send everyone who signs up for this program, we're going to send you 3 ounces of sea salt, 1 watermelon, 5 salmon, and a package of grapes and some fruits and vegetables. You know, every month you will get that automatically because you signed up for this public program. And then we'll pull from the public trust and just make sure everybody gets some. As long as the people aren't wasting it, it's good. Everybody can have some. Everybody can have sea salt because sea salt is a cell cleaner. It cleans our cells. It's not anything that we don't already have in our bodies. So if we have 100 Moors, if we just have 100 of us who say, okay, Light does sea salt, Empress Imani does, Empress Cynthia does strawberries, Empress Imani does grapes. They don't do a whole lot of them. They do just enough to get the trade started between them. And if we say, okay, let's have people sign up for the program and send them out, and then we'll pull Dollarium from the public trust. Or we can say we're going to each pull $100,000 from the public trust, and we're going to go and pull the resources together and send it out to people. If we have enough people to sign up for that, then we can pull the 100,000 out and say, okay, now let's go and do what we're going to do. We have to have enough people to sign up. If we get 100 more who are putting their hands together and producing, listen, if we had 5 empresses who got together and started sewing flags, this flag right here, because I actually glued this on here, put some glue on here, and glued this on here and cut this out of some red material. If we had empresses who could do that alone, you would have so many people signed up wanting or willing to get a flag from you. Just this flag right here. Not to mention this one too. If there were 5 empresses who got together and said, okay, we are a company of empresses, we're going to start doing these 2 right here. How many people would like one? It would just be massive. And then you could pull from the public trust, let's say 500,000, and that 100,000 will be for each one of you to have to support your family and your kin and all of that as your paycheck, 50,000 up front for each one of you, and then the materials and the time and all of that would come from the 500,000. Islam nobility, Justice Ogunwale.
Can you open the meeting, please?
Sure.
Gratitude.
So we have to trust one another in terms of the money piece. I'll just say this right off the bat. We have tons of Dollarium where people have given donations and things that we count and we deposit it into our bank. Okay, that's gold. All of that is gold. It's in gold. The Moors signed it. They said this is what it's for, and then we deposited it in the bank. So we have millions and billions and trillions really already in the bank. Now we're just saying, okay, what's the best way to use this? What's the best way to do it? So as you can see in the chat, you would have people coming from everywhere who will to have flags and stuff, but we have to be willing to use our own money, whether it be one gold coin or 2 silver coins or 500 in Moorish sovereign Dollarium, pull from their trust. That is what's necessary. We have a way.
It's never gonna work.
We have a
it's never
way.
Gonna work. You ain't gonna be able to.
We have a way whereby our banking credits can be used so that we can convert everything over, either from banking credits to gold and silver or more sovereign Dollarium or vice versa. We have a way to do that. We're still looking at manifesting that.
You wrote a hot check last time. It didn't work. Didn't work.
So let's just keep preparing.
Look at the link for Pauline's book in the chat.
Those who have just one moment.
Corporation.
No one can even hear that mess. We can't even hear it.
The definition of insanity.
We can't even hear it. Those who have a business that they will to manifest, please go ahead and be getting that business together. How many of you would be willing to put your energy forward to participate in a March 21st
Here comes another date that she's never going to do anything on. She's such a fucking liar.
We're doing it already, so shut up. So
fuck you, bitch. You don't do anything.
How many would be willing to do that on March 21st to just have something ready to exchange or sell or put together? Islam. Justice Supreme 7.
Yes, I definitely would love to do something like that.
Okay. In fact, let's just go ahead and take a.
Look at all of Pauline's failures.
That's my born day.
March 21st.
Yes.
That's our New Year. So that's important.
Yes.
So who else would be willing to get something ready? And here's the thing. We're going to, for example, we're going to put out that we have something ready. And whether people come or not, whether people buy or not is not the point. The point is we're making it available. That's the real point of this demonstration.
You'll get 5 of the cult members that'll play pretend.
Nobody can even hear y'all. Shut up. It won't so much that whether people are there or whether they come or not or anything like that. It is that at each of the territories we have on those, let's say we'll make it a 3-day event. A 3-day event. And for those 3 days we're going to have whatever we state that we're going to have available. And whether people come or not, whether people, that's not the point. The point is our commerce is active. And so for those 3 days, March 20th, 21st, and 22nd, or something of that nature, we just have our things out for people to know that we are doing it. And then we'll come back together and put our heads together. And every time we say something like this, sometimes the energies get messed with a little bit, and they try and make it look like, we're not doing what we said we were doing. We always do what we say we're going to do, always. Whether they shadow ban or whatever, but we're going to continue doing what we do. Is there someone else? Justice Anthony?
Yes, I'd like to participate in this.
Okay. So what that looks like, Justice Anthony, Justice Anthony, I'm probably not doing this right at all. I'm going to do it right as I can.
Okay.
And again, this is for March 31st. Not March 31st. It's going to be... let me just take a look and see what days our January, February, March. Oh, that's good.
Islam Empress, it's a Friday.
Yes, the 21st is a Friday. So we could do this Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then we'll meet on Sunday. Is that?
I affirm, Empress.
Islam?
I affirm.
Islam. Thank you, nobility. So that would be...
Most welcome, Empress.
We're going to get some great laughs out of that one. It's going to be fucking...
Islam, me and my consort also, Empress Light.
This Justice Kyle, Justice Darius?
Yes,
is
Justice Darius.
Okay.
Yes,
Justice
my
Darius.
consort and R. Yes.
And what is your Empress's appellation?
Nataja L.
Nataja. Okay. Did I spell that correctly?
Nataija.
IJA. Islam.
H. Excuse me.
H.
H. Yes, my apology. L. Yes.
Okay. Who else? Islam. Ooh, yeah.
I absolutely would love to participate. Will participate.
Islam, Empress. Who else? This again is going to be March 20th, 21st, and 22nd. I'm just going to set up a small table at my driveway probably and just put the sea salt out on the table and say it's for sale until there's no more left. It's going to be that simple, but we are getting started. We got to start somewhere. I'm just going to start simple.
Islam
Nobility.
This is Pharaoh from Virgin Land.
Islam.
We would like to participate also. We are starting a button company with different sayings, different moral sayings and scriptures and amendments, something like that. We're starting that.
Okay.
Okay.
Beautiful. Even if you only have 10 buttons done that day, just start somewhere.
Islam.
Islam?
Islam, Justice Yahya.
Yes, Justice Yahya speaking. I will to participate.
Islam.
Islam?
Okay, so for those who will be participating, who is there anyone else? For those who will be participating, if you would just stay after Congress today for just a few minutes so that we can get a little bit more information to and have a little more of a discussion. Islam Empress.
I didn't hear the first part of it. What are we participating in?
So on March the 20th, the 21st, and the 22nd, each one of us who has anything to sell or to trade or anything like that, we're going to have a 3-day trade. Some people would call it a trade show. Okay, it can be called that until we have a better name for it. I don't care too much for the word show, but have a trade venue or trade event for 3 days where whatever you have wherever you are, it doesn't even matter even if you're in a 1-bedroom apartment or you live with someone else, you domicile with someone else. If you have at least 5 things, it can be 5 little buttons, something that you made, something that you found, something that you packaged, that you will to sell, and it will be for gold, silver, or Moorish sovereign Dollarium, or you can trade with any of us for whatever it is that we have. We just will that you have something to do to get the currency flowing.
Islam.
Can I come to 911 314th place?
Islam Empress.
Islam, I will be joining.
Islam. Thank you, Empress Nabi.
I want to come to your house, Pauline. I know your address. Can I bring my own Dollarium?
Okay, and so is there anyone else?
Islam, yes, this is Empress Imani. I am willing to participate.
So Pauline's having a garage sale. Nice garage sale, Pauline. A Moorish garage sale. What a fucking idiot.
Islam, Justice Imani. Thank you. Who else?
This is Rahman Sharaki Bey. I will to participate.
Islam. Thank you,
Your funny money is never going to be good in the real world. It's being rejected worldwide. Your funny money is no good, Pauline.
Okay. Anyone else?
A Moorish garage sale. How original you bitch. How original you.
Justice Shasha.
Yes, Empress, I was thinking, what if we call it a launch, a trade launch?
Oh, I like that. That sounds good. Let me just What do you all think about that? A trade launch. A gold, silver, and more sovereign Dollarium trade launch.
Islam, I affirm.
I affirm.
It's fucking hilarious. That's
And
what we
gold
fucking hilarious. That's what we think.
Just a moment. Nobilities. Ooh. We know we're on the right track.
Islam Empress.
Yes.
This is Noble Justice Eddie Lease Bay. I am going to participate, and I approve.
Islam. Nobility. Justice. Is that Justice Eddie?
Eddie. L. Bay. Eddie Lease Bay.
Eddie Bay. And you're at Chicago territory or Mecca territory, Illinois territory, nobility?
Yes.
Okay, Islam. Thank you. Who else is wills to participate? We, ain't nothing to it but to do it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Even if you have just a few things around your domicile that you will to trade.
How about some fried chicken? And who's going to bring the fried chicken for this meeting? Come on.
Now, let me say this too about it. Sometimes ego would have you feel that what you're doing is too small, or is too, it's not big and whatever enough. But trust and know that whenever you start talking about commodities, gold and silver, that you have already superseded anything small. See, the fiat was the small fried chicken thing. That was the chitlin circuit. The fiat was the chitlin circuit. That's what they used to call it, where, you go into this little garage and people are selling chitlins and fried chicken. Fiat was that. Now we're at the palace. This is where the palaces are manifested. Gold, silver, and more sovereign Dollarium. And us doing our own trade and exchange among each other. And again, the subjects can participate too. They have gold and silver coinage that they had from the previous era, or whatever it is that they have, they can participate as well. So, Belinda, I did see your message, Belinda. Thank you for everything that you grew and took the time to package up and send to us. It was absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious. And
thank you.
I just will to thank you for that. We don't.
Welcome. Thank you.
Yes. So, anyone who has anything and they will to participate in this gold and silver and more sovereign Dollarium trade launch. I like that term, Empress Shasha.
You got 10 idiots.
A trade launch. A trade launch. I love it. Anyone else?
Islam Empress Light?
Islam Empress Nana.
I would love to participate. I'm in London territory.
Islam. Empress Nabi, are you L or Bay or both?
Islam, both.
Both. Okay. Is it L Bay or Bay L?
No. Just goodness. So you can put Nabi, Bay, Mahat, L.
Okay, Islam.
Islam.
Thank you, Empress, for that
Islam.
proper correction.
Islam. So I kept my Bay from me, but my consort is an L. So.
All right then. That makes sense to us, Empress.
Islam.
And you are holding both offices nicely.
Islam.
Anyone else? If you put something in the chat, I don't quite know if you're affirming or if you are stating that you will to be a part of it. But if you would just open your microphone, please, and star 6, and put it on the record that you'll be participating in the trade launch.
Islam.
Islam nobility.
Khalil Mohammed Bey, will to participate.
Islam. Thank you, nobility.
Islam Empress.
Islam nobility.
I would love to participate. My foray in business, I did everything by invoice. So I always dealt with corporations and it was transportation. So, excuse me. So I never had the retail part of preparing something and selling it. So I really appreciate this launch, and I look forward to seeing the benefits of it. Islam.
And so are you stating that you're going to participate in some way?
I'd love to. I'm sitting here trying to figure out what could I do. So if you give me time, maybe I can come up with something. Maybe I'll talk to one of my friends or relatives or somebody that makes something, and maybe I could do that.
We know that the moment that you say, when you say the words, I will, or I affirm, we already know the ancestors are going to give you something. We already know that.
Islam. So I will to participate.
Islam. They're going to give you something. They're going to.
That's Harold Muji Bey.
Islam.
Gratitude.
Islam and perspective.
Only your most loyal
Islam, Justice Atiba.
I will definitely support, participate, and do whatever I can to make our launch a complete success. There is no failure.
Islam. Indeed. Justice Atiba, thank you. Here's the thing. The ancestors are going to honor what we do because we are in alignment with their will for this land. We are our ancestors' return. And the only way this happens is through us. See, in the previous era, they told us, you know, God will do this and God will do that. And this is so something that I realized that it just really has affected my inspiration gauge, as it were. That whenever in the previous era they will say, well, God is going to help you pay this, or God is going to help you pay that, or God is going to help you do this, God will help you finish college. The only ones that was helping was the financial aid persons, or somebody showing up with some fiat, and then we would be thanking God because somebody showed up with some fiat, not knowing that we were actually putting our trust in the fiat system. Wasn't nobody out in the clouds bringing nothing. And so now, here, where we are at this time, is we are God's hands and mouth and feet and the makers and creators of all. If something is going to get done, as things are getting done, guess who's doing it? We are, all of us. If we will to have our, now we already know though that all systems are go. All systems are go. We know that. One thing I've noticed is that every time we make an announcement like this one, the ancestors tend to have us to not redirect, but to include the whole system in what we're doing. So when we say, oh, we're going to have a trade launch on March 20th, 21st, and 22nd, as I start to prepare things, the ancestors will change the energy so that we continue to keep a huge eye, a top-level view. The whole system is included in this. The only way I know how to prompt that is to make an announcement like this and say, okay, on March 20th, 21st, and 22nd, we're going to have a trade launch. All we will to have, if we only had 2 of us, all it takes is 2 or 3 witnesses for every word to be established. We have more than 2 here. 1 can chase 1,000, 2 can put 10,000 to flight. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and myself is 15. Yes.
Might go. I'm 8. I will.
We'll put you right here, Justice Dumois. So that's 15 of us. Islam nobility.
Yeah, she's certainly Florida territory. I will to participate.
Thank you, nobility.
Islam.
So we know that we have to open the portal though. And that's why we make these, that's why we set these intentions like this, is to open the portal so that our prosperity and our wealth manifests. Now, I'll say this too. Justice Adrian, are you able to open your microphone and speak? Are you able to star 6? No? Just a moment. Let's see if we can. Justice Adrian, are you there? It's showing that your microphone is open. But we cannot hear anything. Let's see. Okay. Justice Adrian is saying in the chat that he wills to participate, but we cannot hear you. Okay. So let's just continue on planning this, and we'll continue to announce it, and we may even do a video of some kind. But for those who will to participate, we will go off the record, as it were, after this meeting, so that we can get a little more information about where each one of you is. It's not necessary to publish your location or anything. We're going to publish our location, as we always have. But it's the energy that is important, and people should be able to write or send something in the mail to the mailing location, to a mailing location, so that they can receive the products, whatever the product is that you're putting forth. This is going to be yet another manifestation this year of more of what we've been doing over the past 5-6 years since we introduced Moorish Sovereign Dollarium. Because since our introduction, in fact, let us, I will to show, let me see if I can go to, maybe I can pull it up. Maybe I can pull up the, because I will to show you just really quickly for the sake of accountability. I think I should be able to pull it up on Google. Yeah, I should be able to pull it up here. For the sake of accountability, the let's see. We have a let's see. Okay, so just for the sake of accountability, the Al-Moroccan American Exchange, because remember, we've been talking about Moorish Sovereign Dollarium. There were many, many, many of you who chose companies. You made an investment in Moorish Sovereign Dollarium from your trust towards companies. Some of the companies are banks, some are trading companies, and so on and so forth. We still do have the accountability mechanism that shows the list of investments in each of the companies. We did a spreadsheet, and let's see, this is the spreadsheet. We got 175 line items, and those line items came up to, with all of the investments together, came up to $2.824 billion And that is not the entire amount, but that is a large portion of the Dollarium that we've taken in for those companies. So for the sake of accountability, we did state that we were going to give you a tally or an accounting, a record of how much Dollarium we took in from everywhere, from Moors everywhere. And it was over $2 billion in gold that we took in, almost $3 billion in Dollarium that we took in just in that few couple of weeks. We have probably about twice that many in the emails that we're continuing to receive. Okay, and then this is the list of companies right here where so far where many were investing, and this is the total number of investment. 325 million in the mining company, 105 million in Chase National Bank, 100 million in Southern Railroad Company. And again, this is a total, a conglomeration of the investments put forth by the nation. Okay. So with that being stated and shown on the record, let the record show that 2.824 billion total investments, and that was from 2021. Since that time period, we've received so many more. So it's probably at more like $1 trillion by now. But this was the total as of July 12, 2021. And then our email filled up so quickly that we just said, okay, let's slow down here and take a moment to go through each one with the investment and respond back. And so most of you should have received responses by now. We just have to enter your responses into the spreadsheet, the tally. Okay. So we are keeping good records of the donations and the money that has been received. Thanks to Empress Ravana. And now what we're doing is continuing to, is continuing to manifest our monies. We have another report about connecting the systems, continuing to bring the systems into trust with one another. We have another report that we'll probably be bringing you in the next couple of, probably 2 or 3 months, maybe. It may be that long, or it may be sooner than that, where there's a connection and more parts of the system are speaking to each other over the next few months. Anyone else who wills to participate in the trade launch? Anyone else?
Islam.
Islam nobility.
I'm interested.
Islam. Thank you, nobility.
That's what one N. Johnny, one N.
Islam.
Islam.
Okay. Thank you, nobility. Anyone else? That's a nice fez, nobility, by the way.
Thank you.
I don't get to see everybody very often, but when I do, you all just shine. I tell you, amazing. So if we'll talk some more about this after the Congress today, and we'll also talk about it again next week, and we'll just be talking about it up until the time of the trade launch. And then here, meanwhile, we're going to just continue making more sea salt. By the way, I think I showed you all what our sea salt is looking like thus far. It's wrapped in gold. It has a certificate number and all of that, commodity number, because it is a commodity. It's as much of a commodity as gold and silver. It's a natural resource pulled straight from the earth. So, Justice Sabra L., I see you there in the chat. Is there anyone else? Did we get everyone in the chat? I don't will to miss anyone, but if you could speak. Islam Empress.
I think I will. Are we sending the merchandise to you, or are we doing it at our home?
You're doing it at your home. Now,
I will get back with you later. If possibility, I will, but I'm not sure right now.
Okay. If you will to send it, Empress, you can send it here, and we'll have it out for you that day.
Okay.
If you will. So we'll just put you as participating Empress, Justice Aisha.
Right.
And then however you choose to manifest that will be okay with us.
Okay.
Anyone who has something and they will to send it to us and have us put it out that day, we'll just do that, and we'll take video of it out there, and then what we're going to do here, depending on what the ancestors do, because they have a tendency to change our plans and have us think bigger. That's every time they change our plans, they say, no, you got to think bigger than that. And then we end up having to do something different. So let's make that clear that by that time, a lot can happen in 3 months. So we'll be happy to put Justice Kansu. We see you there in the chat. By then, the ancestors ain't no telling what they will have or do, because they always pull us up and say, nope, bigger than that. You have a whole system, an entire system that is yours, and it's got to be bigger than what you're thinking. So we're going to plan on doing this, if nothing else, to open the portal. But as the ancestors change that, which I can already feel it, they're going to have us have it bigger. But because when we agree, that's the thing. The moment we all agree, they say, okay, we got their agreement, let's make it even bigger. All they will is that we agree to do something, to do a thing, and they make it earth-wide. So, with that being stated, thank you to everyone who will be participating, and we'll keep this listing up and available for everyone to see. Again, the 20th, 21st, and 22nd, a trade launch for us, gold, silver, and Moorish sovereign Dollarium. Prior to that, so on January 19th, which is in, I believe, about 2 weeks, We will to have everyone who wills to do a presentment, a 3-minute presentment, just the same way we did with the State of the Empire. We would love for this leadership, because we're all leading the processes. For this leadership, because you're the leader at your territory and you're the leaders earthwide. And it is going to be important that you get used to speaking to the nation. You have to get used to speaking to the nation, because this is your nation. And there are many who are looking to hear from us to know that we're actually awake. They know that we are who we state that we are, but then they'll say, well, where are the Moors? Who are they? Who's leading the processes? Who's in charge? And when they say who's in charge, we all stand up. We know that. We've been saying that forever, because it's truth. The conference is unlocked, nobilities. So we will that as many as will to give a 3-minute presentment. The presentment will be, because we all are the presidents, so it's important that we speak from that place. The topic is our vision for the nation. And we'll just say, we have a short-term and a long-term vision. And you can feel free to state that however you will to state it, okay? Your vision for the nation. And then now who will to give a presentment on, it's in 2 Sundays, it's the 19th, which is 2 Sundays from now.
Islam
nobility. Yeah, it's 2 Sundays, the 19th. Justice Johnny, is that you?
Yes, I'm interested in participating.
Beautiful.
Oh, you've got 16.
Anyone else?
Wow.
Islam nobility.
Yes, I'm willing.
Thank you, nobility. Anyone else who wills to do a statement and address the nation from your leadership perspective?
Ooh, 17 now. 17.
On the 19th. Islam nobility.
Justice Your Highest Bey speaking. I would like to make a statement.
Islam.
What a bunch of dullards.
Go ahead. Anyone else?
Islam, Shosha Bey.
Yes, Islam.
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you so much. Because right now it's just I'm the only matriarch, and there has to be more of us.
Islam Empress.
Yes, Islam Empress Nabi.
Can I be 7?
Yes, you can be 7.
So somebody else has to be 6.
Islam.
Maya L.
I knew that. Thank you, Empress.
Islam.
There was a Justice G. Was that you?
Yes, I'll be 8.
Oh, 8. Okay. Okay. Anyone else? Who else intends to speak? Give a 3-minute presentment on January 19th to the nations, to this nation and the nations. Your vision for the nation, what you see for us, what you see for the other nations, what your vision is, what your view is from this point. What progress have we made that you can see? What areas of opportunity are there? Because that's a piece too.
You haven't made any progress in about 5 years.
Islam, Justice Anthony.
I would like to participate.
Thank you, nobility.
Islam.
We see rejected the
Gratitude, Empress.
Islam.
Islam.
Islam, nobility.
Pharaoh, Virgin Land.
Yes.
We would like to say it also.
Okay, beautiful. Any others who will to give presentments on the 19th? This will be considered something, it's sort of like an inauguration speech. However, it is a statement for the nations and for the empire.
Islam.
And for your territory, Islam, nobility.
Yes, add me and my consort also, Darius L. and Nataja L. We would love to speak to the nation.
Islam, beautiful.
Islam.
Let me. Did I spell that properly? Nobility.
Islam. Yes, you did.
Ah, good. Okay, thank you. Anyone else who wills to give presentments on the 19th?
Islam.
Islam, Empress.
Justice Amani Faraha Bay, Colorado Territory.
Thank you, Empress. Islam. Anyone else will to, you all listen, you're leaders, you must speak, your voice must be heard. You know, a lot of people, they have, the Spirit has already given them the purpose to lead. You have to start somewhere. This is a great place to start. If you've never spoken publicly, this is a great place to start, because we don't judge you in that way. You actually are sovereign and can judge yourself.
Islam.
Islam, Justice.
I'd like to make a speech as well.
Beautiful. Some of you, I'm just waiting for you to speak up, some of you, because it's your time and you know it's your time. The ancestors already told you it's your time.
Thomas Aladar Bay, Khalifa Territory.
Islam.
Let's go.
Yes, let's do this. Yes, let's do this, indeed.
Islam, Empress. Peace and love.
Yes, thank you, Justice Tonus, for answering your spirit. Indeed. Islam.
Michael Dawamiki Bay,
Yes.
Mississippi Territory.
Islam.
Aisha Elbay from Dumpster Territory.
Islam nobilities. Anyone else?
Islam.
Islam.
Empress Justice Angelica Yvette Dobbs Day.
I'm sorry, who? No, I'm just. Come on, Empress. Justice Angel Angelica. Indeed, Empress. Anyone else? There was a noble.
Islam, Empress.
Islam nobility. Justice Harold?
Yes. Islam.
Okay.
Oh, Harold Mujib. Harold Mujibay. Muajay.
Jay. Is it Jay or Jah?
H, I'm sorry. Working around the house all day. Thank you for correcting.
Islam.
Islam Empress, can you please open for Justice Khalif?
Yes, indeed. Justice, I believe Justice Carl, I think we talked about this. I believe he's on the list already, I think. But I will to confirm or affirm that with him. Justice Kyle, are you present? Is he present? Justice Kyle? I'm going to Justice Anthony, when Justice Kyle comes in, would you please let him know that we just will to affirm hit him on the list for a presentment on the 19th?
Hey, Sasha, show us your titties. Let's see some titties.
Okay, so while we're waiting for Justice Kyle to come in as well, I believe that may be him.
Titties.
Let me make sure that Justice Kyle has made it in. No, he has not. Okay. So now what we're going to do is Justice Kyle. Just a moment. Let's make sure. Okay. So Justice Adrian, are you stating that you will be making a statement or a presentment on the 19th? Is that what you're putting in the chat? Justice Adrian, will you be making a presentment on the 19th? Okay. The only question that I have about you making a presentment on the 19th is if we can't hear you today, we probably won't be able to hear you on the 19th either. And so we will to ensure that we can hear you. So is there some way that you can, maybe between now and then, get it so that we can hear you when you speak? Between now and say next week on Sunday? We just want to, we will, yeah, okay. Thank you, Nobility.
Ravana would love to see them shaka titties, yo.
Is there anyone else?
Justice Kala Muhammad Bey.
Yes. We just will to affirm, Justice Kyle, that you would be present. Justice Kyle.
KHAL.
KHAL. Is that correct, Nobility?
LL.
Say again, Nobility.
LL Muhammad Bey.
Oh, okay. Islam. Anyone else? Thank you, Nobility. Islam, Empress, why not? Justice, why not? Are you L or Bay?
L.
Or both? L, okay.
Oh, no, sorry, no. I thinking of my son, Ambi. Why Ambi?
Okay, Empress. Islam. We know who you think about the most then, Empress.
Yes.
Are there any others who will to make a statement that day? A 3-minute presentment.
Islam, I do.
Islam, nobilities
Islam.
only. We're not nobility only. Okay. So quickly, we have a question. Do you have your own platform to state your will? This is something that we talked about briefly in the meeting before the meeting. We just will to encourage each and every one of you to get either a YouTube page or a Facebook page or any other platform. Get a platform where you can make public statements, because
Aisha has one. She showed her eviction.
This year, at this time on the civic calendar, there will be events and things that are happening at your territory where your statement is going to be necessary for you to make statements on the public record because you lead those territories. When I say things happening, it's going to be things like our trade launch. The trade launch is going to require that each one of us announce for our territories that there is a nationwide or earthwide trade launch of gold and silver. And these are either the places where people can go to do trade and exchange in gold and silver and Moorish sovereign Dollarium, or you can write to these places or send to these places or mail to these places, or you know, if it's email, you all can meet by email, you know, and have things done via electronic mail.
Come to Pauline's garage sale. Everybody to Pauline's garage.
But it is important that we all have a way for people to be able to come and do trade back and forth for those who will to do the trade. Now, I'll say this too. Those of you who are not doing trade, We're not trying to make you feel bad, but we all will that our Dollarium and our gold and silver, we've already stated that it's the law. And so the more of us that do this, the quicker you'll see it manifest that it's the law. Our ancestors willed that we get it started, and the energies and the wind is beneath our wings on all of this. So with that being stated, please, if you would, have your own platform so that you can state what's going on at your platform or at your territory. And that does not necessarily require that they see your face. If you're kind of shy and you don't really will that they see your face, even though it would be nice if they did, you know, with your head dress and so on and so forth. You can always just speak and take photographs of documents and things like that. And that way they can at least know that there is presentment at that territory.
Ooh, a minority.
So with that being stated, we will to clarify briefly, our announcement that we made last Sunday, or the previous Sunday, about the U.S. debt payment systems. Yes, they are terminated. For us, they're terminated. They're really terminated for everyone. It's just that some people don't know that they're terminated yet. They're only getting bits and pieces. Like for many of them, where YouTube is concerned, they've been quote unquote demonetized because that's not real money. So then YouTube is doing as we've commanded to stop pushing that debt around. So sometimes you'll hear people talk about, you know, they're demonetized and, you know, YouTube stopped letting them pass things back and forth and so on and so forth. That's YouTube doing what we have stated that YouTube should do according to our lean process. According to our lean process. So the clarification that we will to make is this. These quote unquote systems in their dead corporate debtor form are terminated. However, the creditor systems with the same, it sounds the same as that, as the ones that will be that have been terminated. The following creditor systems will continue operations for the United States, and that's the United States for America, not the United States of corporation company, not that one. The real United States, all creditor payment systems that have been nationalized will continue operations, and their operations are actually going to grow significantly as we do the trade launch and the other things, the nationalizing and the liens, levies, and bonds and things of that nature. So the following creditor systems will continue operations for the United States for America. The banking system, the cash registers, the automatic teller machines, all other creditor payment systems to include Bitcoin, blockchain, and all of that, Bitcoin, Venmo, Facebook, Zelle, Google Pay, Cash App, PayPal, as those are nationalized and created from a national, created nationally.
Full of bullshit again, bullshit.
By us. As they're nationalized by us, they will continue operations only from a national perspective. In other words, If you're using fiat, they won't continue for you.
That's funny. That's how you pay your mortgage.
For you. They won't
pay your mortgage with fiat.
They won't continue for you.
Islam?
Islam.
Well, that would also, facilitate the understanding of nationality and its importance.
Absolutely. 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 100%.
Because, we all know it's the only order of anything, nationality. And so when people declare their nationality,
everything worked out so well for you, didn't it, Angel?
Go ahead, Nobility.
That then their accounts will reflect that.
Yes.
And, I know I'm seeing that in my demonstrations that I'm doing here at Land of Nod, that it is important that you put on the record your national political standing.
Yes.
Well, it's still not going to work.
Very important.
No duh.
Very important.
Mm-hmm.
It's the reverse of what happened in 1971. In 1971, the actors acting as Nixon, he was acting as president, and he acted as if the dollar and gold had been separated. Well, the dollar and gold never separated. It was U.S. fiat debt notes that separated from that which is lawful and legal. Okay? And for those that did not know he wasn't talking to us, they felt like, we have to use this fiat that's not backed by anything anymore. And they did that enactment for 50 years or so. So what we're stating is that gold and silver and Moorish sovereign Dollarium have always been whatever we state they are. Period. No one has the authority to remove our money and gold and silver from use. And that's what the trade launch is about also. The trade launch says that gold and silver and Moorish sovereign Dollarium is money. That's real money.
For you and the 19 other people, that's great. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
And here's the thing. No one can tell us it's not, because we're the ones trading and doing the trading. Now, you can't say that Moorish sovereign Dollarium doesn't have any value. Yes, it does. We're trading in it. What about you? And it's commodities. It's real stuff. It's real stuff, not plastic stuff. It's real. It's commodities. So now, with that being stated, this is just going to further affirm that corpses cannot own land using fiat. Now that's the bigger picture. That's why a trade launch is important. A trade launch is important because all we're doing is saying this is real stuff. This is real stuff right here. This is what you call real estate. So now no one can tell you that they bought some land if they're using fiat. Because no, this is real land. These are real commodities. This is real money. And this is the only thing you can buy land with. It's the only thing you can buy land with. So now, Moors, you'll have a different issue. Your issue will be you've got so much land, now you got to know what to do with it. Islam. So, Islam, Empress.
I have a question. So how does the direct deposit fit into the nationalized system that you're expressing here?
So the direct deposit, as the Moors continue to nationalize their bank accounts. Because you remember how we were doing the legacy account? How we're doing that? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Moors have to continue to nationalize their accounts, and then you'll see more sovereign Dollarium going back and forth in your accounts and and making things go back and forth like that. We're seeing it now, and we've done a demonstration recently, several demonstrations recently. We are not going to speak about them now, but what we will state is that they are quantum dollar amount demonstrations that we've done with our bank accounts and things, and we'll show you what that looks like in the coming weeks and months. We'll show you, because what we've done is accessed the back end of the banking system, and it was necessary to do that because it's our system, number one, and number two, accessing the back end of the system will simply tell us the basis or the foundation that we put in place for our system, how that works. So we'll show you that in the coming weeks and months when that demonstration is we've completed several phases of it very successfully. We're now implementing a third phase, and once this third phase is complete, we will show you exactly what we did, how we did it, and it will prove what we've been stating and what we know already, that we're all very, very wealthy, extremely wealthy. We came into this civic year with more in our accounts than we've ever seen. And so we will to show how we did that the same way we showed about more sovereign Dollarium and our accounts and moving things back and forth and how that works. And what we're doing is connecting each part of our systems together. So we're working on mechanisms and processes to connect our merchant cards to our bank accounts, and our bank accounts to we already connected the bank accounts in the Dollarium. We've shown that already. We've also shown how to make deposits in Dollarium or checks, mainly in checks, how to craft your own check and then deposit it into your legacy account. We showed that already too. We'll show some more of that in the coming days and weeks. We're working on phase 3 of that particular demonstration again, so we'll show you that coming soon. And that's where the direct deposit will come in at. Now, you are free to demonstrate that on your own at any time, because I already know I'm not the only one demonstrating that. I know that. I know other Moors are demonstrating writing, crafting, and creating their own checks and sending it to the banking system, and the banking system properly recording it and showing their money in the bank. I know you're not. Islam, Justice Anthony.
Could you please just tell us the name of those videos that I could watch them and get instructions and information?
Yes, we can. I believe. Let's take a look. We'll go to our channel. There's several of them where we actually showed you. We signed on to our bank account, our legacy account, and we showed what was in there. It was more sovereign Dollarium in our account, and we also showed how to edit the accounts and make changes to the accounts and things of that nature. We showed where we crafted a check for $27,000 in Dollarium and we deposited into our account, and you could see where the deposit went in at and how that works, how everything is according to what we name it and things of that nature. So some of those, let's see. Let's see. I believe this might be one of them. The system obeys your every word. I think that's one of them. I think it's this one, but let's just see really quickly.
Yeah.
That's a good one to watch, but that's not showing the bank account. You'll have to go through them, Nobility, and see which one it is that shows that account, that information. There's just so many of them that we.
Yeah, that's the problem. There's so many, and they are like more than 3 hours, 4 hours. But I was trying to find the names of a few of them that I could, look at specifically instead of going through 10 and a dozen of them.
Yeah.
It's easier if I have names.
Nobility, I'll say this about that. When I first nationalized, there was not a whole lot of information out there. So the problem that we had was finding information.
Right.
Now we have so much information that the problem has been solved, but it's now a different issue. It's kind of like someone who, just like us, we thought we were really poor, so we thought we had problems then. Now that we know that we're super wealthy, it's a different set of things that we solve. So I'm glad that that's one of the issues, is that there's so much information that we have to take the time to go through it. I'm grateful for that being the case. And I know that everyone is, I know that we all are, because, when we first nationalized, we would go out on Google and we would Google things about Moorish nationality, and only 2 or 3 things would come up. Only 2 or 3 things would come up. And it was always the same old things, the same 2 or 3 things, which we're grateful for that even. But today, when you Google Moorish nationality or Moorish American government, so much stuff comes up. Islam Empress.
Islam Empress, we just wanted to affirm that statement that she made about in 2017. That's when we first discovered nationality and birthrights, and there wasn't very few resources, out there, or there were very few resources out there. So now there's so much, and especially on this Light Tajiri Bay platform, I think there's over 400 videos, and we just give you supreme high honors and gratitude for doing all this, spearheading all of this work and doing this with us. We're so grateful. Thank you,
Empress. That's just, I'm honored. I get goosebumps at the explosion of information that has come out from us and from others in the last 7 years. There has been like a monumental, it was a nuclear explosion, to be honest with you. There's so much out there now, and it's at different levels of competency, but we're not even mad at that. We're just glad to see people saying they're not Negro, Black, colored, and African American.
And Empress, at the beginning of the video, that was the first thing that had crossed my mind about what you're doing. I mean, there is no words, Empress. Honestly, from speaking from the heart, there is no word to describe or to even give you a title for what you are doing.
Islam Nobility.
That is from the heart, Empress. I have 2 more questions, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
One of the other videos that I've been searching for, I've been searching. I still can't find it. It has the information about the declaration, about adding someone to the legacy account, that they have to do the declaration about the nationalize. Mm-hmm. I haven't found that video, and I've been searching for it. I don't know if offhand you could remember specifically which one it is.
I don't know specifically which one it is, nobility, but I will state this, that the nature of the account must match the nature of the fiduciary and anyone attached to that account. The nature must be the same.
All right, I'm going to work with that, Empress.
Yeah.
And one last question. Sometimes I see like you're restating a document. You have I don't know if it's a app or if it's a software you have, but it whites out, you know, some of the writings on the document. Is it a specific software or is it on most laptops or computers?
It's on most laptops and computers. It's not a program that I got. It's just whenever I pull up a PDF, those icons will come at the top of the page. Any PDF that I pull up, those icons are going to come at the top, and it's going to make it so that I can change and edit and move and mute, you know, erase.
No, I'm talking about when you write out a writing. Like, for example, here you'll have the name online. I see you like white it out. I don't know how you do it, if it's a software that you use.
It's not a software. I believe what you're speaking of is something like let me just pull up a quick form really quickly.
Your tiny group is insignificant. Insignificant. That's all.
Here, I'll just pull one of these up. So, nobility, when I pull this up, I believe you're talking about, for example, if I will to just like erase like that. Is that what you're talking about?
Right, Empress.
So I just use the color white, the white color, and I just white over whatever it is.
Okay.
Pick the color white and then just erase.
So it's the white. Okay, it works the same as the whiteout.
Yes, it does.
Okay, Empress.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for that info.
You're welcome. It's not a program. It's just anytime I pull up a PDF, these icons come at the top of the page, and I just use them. If I want to, if I will to put letters there, it'll say, you know, do you want them in blue, red, green, or black? And then I just pick a color and start typing. Yeah.
And the white is right there also. You could just white it and it takes it out.
Yep. And then if I hit draw and then the white part right there and just go, it'll go away.
Okay.
And then I just type over it as necessary.
Thank you, Empress. Gratitude.
You're welcome, nobility. Our ancestors have, again, as we stated, where there's a will, there's a way. We just present the ancestors with the will to do something, and we say, okay, ancestors, we will to do this. Can you assist us in getting that done? And then we start moving in that direction. And as we move, sometimes we might feel like we hit a wall or something because we can't go any further because we think we lack something. We never lack anything. The ancestors always say, nope, do it this way, and you'll get it done. And it just works. Islam, Empress.
Islam. Now here's another question as it relates to setting up and nationalizing the legacy account. Can you tell me how long that process is before I'm able to actually use it?
It's going to vary from one more to the next. It depends on your ability to state what should happen with the account. I can assist you in expediting it by pointing you to a particular. So for USAA, what I did was I pulled up the depository agreement. Let me just take a look at that. They have a depository agreement. And so what I did is pull that up. And then what I did, Empress, was I went ahead and I crafted the check. Let's say the check for $27,777.75. I just picked that amount because that is how much the postmaster is paid per month. So I wrote the check, and once I wrote the check, I created the check first, then I wrote it, and then I mailed it according to our government mailing process. Well, what happened at that time was they sent back a substitute check. And at the time, I didn't know what to do with a substitute check. I didn't even know, I had never heard of a substitute check. So then when I did the demonstration, I looked up substitute check and found that a substitute check is to be treated as the original. So you would take the substitute check for, it doesn't matter how much it's for, and you use that check as you would the regular check, okay? So a substitute check is a paper copy of an original check that is created using images of the front and back. It is a negotiable instrument that's used in banking to represent a physical paper check. It says the Check 21 Act allows banks to create the substitute check. Substitute checks are the legal equivalent of the original check. So what they did was take something lawful, the instrument that I created, and they said, okay, let's make this so that it fits into the legal system. So now I was not going to use their legal substitute check. What I did was I printed it out, and then I had to authenticate it. That's called a real authentication. They sent one in the mail. That's what happened. They sent the substitute check in the mail because it's an instrument. Well, I was not going to use theirs, so what I did was I scanned it in, and then I printed it out on legal size paper and authenticated the printout, not theirs, but the printout. They look the same, but they're not the same. One of them I created, and one of them they created. I didn't use their creation because I don't trust them. I'm not in trust with them. I know it came from the system. I know that. But at that time, I just felt, you know, I'm just going to print it out and authenticate what I printed out. I didn't know that I could use that to establish accounts at different places. Like if I will to establish account at Office Depot to get office supplies, I could take that substitute check that I printed out and authenticate it and set up a $27,000 account. Or if I will to set that account up at the grocery store, I could have done that. Or if I will to set that account up at someplace else, anywhere. And the thing about substitute checks is that you can print out as many substitute checks as you will to print out. Once you receive one of them, you can print out as many as you will to print out and start setting up accounts everywhere for that amount. At the time, I didn't know that because that was my first time receiving a substitute check. Now we know what to do with substitute checks is we have to, and this is the shortening of the process. I pulled up the depository agreement and I looked at what it says about checks and substitute checks and all of that. And then I had to restate what was said about checks and substitute checks so that our system would be established according to our procedures. So to shorten the time period where legacy accounts are concerned, we suggest that you restate the depository agreement for whatever banking system you've nationalized. And once you go through that thing and restate, you can start creating instruments and sending those instruments and watching the system do what you said do. But see, the system, it looks at what you wrote, at the procedures that you wrote, and it will do exactly as you have stated, but you have to state it. Because we have so much work to do, I've only taken the part about deposits. I took and restated that part from here. I haven't restated the whole thing yet. But as I demonstrate, I go back and look at, okay, the system doesn't know what to do from this. It accepted the deposit, but it didn't know what to do with the deposit after that. So I go back in here and I restate the depository part, the part that tells the system what to do with deposits. And then I send that by government mailing to the system. And that's how we've been handling and governing the legacy account part. It's not a one-time shot. You have to keep telling this, because you're programming the system. And those who have programming experience know that as you're programming a system, it will do what you say up until where you stop programming. And then when it pauses, you know that it's looking for some more programming. It's looking for another part. So then you look in this depository agreement and you find things about how it should accept your deposit, or opening a deposit account, or withdrawals, or electronic banking services, etc. Funds availability. You go in and you restate that part. Look at number 46, death or incompetence, because they're the same, almost. In other words, the system won't do anything with that. So you have to go in and change that part to say what it should do, what the system should do. Either change it, take it out, or just wait until the spirit tells you what to write for that. Okay?
So what about when it's a new account, and so the bank, I'm thinking the bank is going to actually issue the account number. And then therefore, that account number now is being printed on a check. So how...
Okay, so if you don't have an account with that banking system, and you will to establish an account with that banking system, you can always establish an account with your state security number.
Oh, that's even better.
Always. That's how you establish anything, is with your state security number. Anything that you're the fiduciary for and that you govern.
So now, how did you make your own check?
Into WordPad. Oh, this is what I did the first time. The first few times that I made my own check, I scanned in the checks that I had received from the previous era, and then I went and just restated everything. I spelled everything out, because they don't have stuff spelled out on those type of checks. They use 2-letter states and all of that stuff. I erased all of that stuff out and put it in the way it should be. everything spelled out. I nationalized the logo. I used the right font at the bottom to put the bank account number and the routing number.
Right, the nicker.
Yeah. And for some of them, I didn't even use electronic ink or magnetic ink, rather. For some of them, and the system still accepted it because there's affidavit that goes with it.
Oh, perfect.
All of her checks have bounced. None of it has worked. They've all bounced.
They lie like the devil. Not one of them, not one has bounced. Not one. They were all accepted by the system. Now the system then says, okay, the deposit was noted according to what you wrote. Now what happens from here? What happens with the money from here? So then we go back to this document right here and we say, okay, we're going to look at, now Justice Anthony, you asked about signing people onto your legacy account. So then you would go here and look at authorized signers here on here. It says authorized signers right there. You would go in and you look at what they've written and then you correct what they've written, because everything they write is going to have some fraud in it somewhere, or something that's not properly stated, or something that's incompetent. And so you just do your study and then restate whatever it is.
Gratitude, Empress.
Islam. So again, we are putting the procedures and the laws on the public record. Here it talks about using your account. But again, Empress Imani, here is talking about how to open the account, identification, information requests, and all of that. So you'll just go here and you will restate that according to your will and your bank. I'm going to put the link to this document in the chat. And you can change the name of the banking system and then just go ahead and go about restating this document and use it as your agreement, your depository agreement. You're agreeing with the system. And it's not that you're agreeing with the system. You're putting the system in alignment with your will is really what it is. So we replace the word agreement with affidavit.
So now will there be a like a letter of affirmation that the account is ready to be used or anything like that? Or
generally when something like that happens, they will the system will send something to the all caps Imani in black ink and capital letters, and it's going to be up to you to use your sovereign filter to rebut that according to, again, what you wrote. So the Imani in all capital letters and black ink, they may send a letter stating that they may say, we were unable to open this account because of this. And then at the top of the letter, they will give a number for that transaction. They'll say this transaction has been suspended and this is the transaction number. That's really the account number. But see, you have to know that. And then you have to restate that number. And then say, okay, this is my account. This is my account number. Because what they're doing is they're really handing you an account number. But you have to know that it's not a refusal. It's a refusal to put you in as a citizen. But then because you're the bank, you put yourself in as the owner of the account. That's been the case with everything that we do, is we've had to state, no, we're not the citizens of that. We're actually the owners of these accounts. So when the system gives you back a number, it's going to be an account number that fits the system. Because what you're doing is you're turning the system inside out. it's been backwards from day one, really. But you have to know how to interpret that. It's been backwards from day one to fit the inferior status of corpses, really. Corpses.
Islam.
Islam.
I have one last question. This is relative to something that in my notes that I ran across, and it says that the liens and the affidavits should be uploaded to this website, which is sos.wa.gov. Did I misinterpret anything?
You can upload it there if you will to. That's the quote unquote Secretary of State for Washington or WA.gov. That's what that website is that you just stated.
But it's not necessary.
But it's not necessary. It's actually better that you put it on a different place of your choosing. Because
because I didn't want to go through their process.
Yeah, their process is not even going to work. It doesn't even work. They don't have any money to shift to lien or shift, or they don't have anything like that. That's why we don't use it.
Thanks, because it was just in my notes, and then I was trying to figure out, okay, but why? When I don't know, it was the energy that I was picking up from it, and I'm like, no, I don't think so.
Well, it's a good place to go and just to look to see what can be restated.
Yeah, I would probably do that.
Yeah, you can restate anything there.
Okay.
It's a good way to learn the process of how the process works, but then you have to know that the process has to be restated by the real government, which is us, all of us.
Yes. Yes.
And that's the same thing we're stating about this banking process is the system will hand you a bank account number, easy, but the words will say, we could not open this account because whatever reason, and then it will give a transaction number that they assigned to the refusal to open it.
Right.
Well, the refusal to open it is actually the sovereigns can take that number and use it as the account number because we know that the system created a number that it understands. In order to refuse it, it had to create a file number. The file number and an account number is the same thing. So if you get a refusal from a system and it's in all capital letters in black ink and it says, Pauline Ritchie, if it said that in all capital letters in black ink and it says we could not open this, this transaction has been suspended because we could not open the account, and then it'll have a 9-digit number next to it as the transaction number, we already know that, okay, we can use that number as the account number. We've done that many times with Chase credit cards and things like that. We're the creditor. So it will say, we could not open this account because we didn't have enough information. The transaction number for this suspended transaction is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We know that already, that all they're doing is identifying how the language that the system understands, and then we just restate that number, and then send 100 million in Dollarium to that with the fiduciary with a lien on Chase, those acting as Chase, and we know we got a card that's got 100 million on it.
But we don't necessarily have to deposit the entire 100 million, right?
You can pick whatever amount you will to deposit.
Perfect, okay.
You can send 1 gold coin or 1 silver coin. Or you can say there's 666 trillion on the public record, and here's a lien and a levy and a bond, and this bond is worth 50 million or 20 million or 10 million, however much you will to have on the card. And then you create the card, which we've done that. We've shown you our target. We have a target card, we have a chase card, and we have and then we have our merchant card, which is a Visa. And each one of them, it's printed on the card how much is available on there. On our merchant card, it's $100 million. And now what we're doing is matching up the numbers on the merchant card with the bank account and the banking system. So all we're doing, and in order to do that, what do? We look back at this that's on the screen. We look at it and see how it'll say something about accepting deposits, or let's see, where would it say something about the cards? Here at number 11, here page 11, it says debit card authorization holds or available balance and things like that. We would go in and we would just change that according to our will. But you're going to be looking at the process. All you have to do is make the process a valid process for creditors. And then you send it. And as you send it and demonstrate, the system is going to do what it's supposed to do. I'm just telling you now it's going to do that. As you create the process and the procedure by court action, the system, and then you demonstrate it and you send an instrument, and then you just watch and wait to see what the system says. And if it doesn't say anything, you keep going. You look at the process again and you say, okay, I will to access or open this online. I want to see online what's happening with the account. Then you go to that part on here about opening it, and then so you'll have to open it, and then you'll have to go on to the part about online activities, which would be here, electronic banking services. So it will be number 37, access devices, records of your transactions. So you look at that and then you restate that and send it. And when you send it, the system will open up according to your will. I'm watching it happen right now. I could show you a large amount in the account that we're doing what we're stating here. We just look at this depository agreement, restate it, and then watch the system. And then the system will do something. What it doesn't do is deny deposits. It won't do that. In fact, over the last 30 days, I sent something about how deposits should be handled, and deposits started coming from everywhere. Deposits that I didn't even, I had no dealings with that, and like interest deposits and things like that started coming from everywhere. So now I have to go in and clarify how things should go. Because, see, no deposit is supposed to come through there if it doesn't have my wet ink signature on it. Okay. You know, so the system will do as you program it to do for you.
I have another question.
Islam.
Is it possible that I could, or we could connect as it relates to this?
Mm-hmm.
And because I do need your assistance in a matter, and I just rather not state it here.
Okay, and I would prefer that the language be that you will to, not that you need our assistance, but you will to have our assistance.
Oh, well, you know. I am still working on.
I know, I know.
Not a problem, because I don't have any issues whatsoever in, the correction.
Yeah.
None. Because I'm learning. I'm in that learning stage. So, yes, I will to have your assistance if it's possible.
Sure.
In this matter, and I'd rather not state it here.
Sure. Islam.
And so if I could have, I don't know, if I could have your number, or I could state my number.
Empress Imani, if you hit the inbox button, are you on the computer where you can see the inbox?
I am on the computer.
If you go to the end where it says everyone in the chat, if you hit that and then find Light Tajiri Bay and just inbox me your number, I'll text you my number from here.
Perfect.
Empress Minerva, I believe you were going to make a statement, and there was a noble who was going to make a statement as well.
It's long, Dustin.
I had two things. One, just to go back to the noble. I can't remember his name, but he was asking about those tools. So I put in the chat, it's the Microsoft Edge internet browser. That's the one that I find that has the tools pop up when a PDF, because I kept looking, and then when I used that browser, I was like, oh, okay, there it is. So just wanted to pass that along. And two, when you were discussing about after you created your the merchant card, I've been looking as well for the video that you had for the actual machine that you created the card. I know you mentioned it a couple of times, and I was just wondering if you could mention it again, because I was looking more for how you get the magnetic strip, get that reader on it.
So our cards don't have a magnetic strip on them. They don't need one, because our merchants who accept our cards, because see, we accept merchant cards for seall, but what we do is we, you know how we will take the merchant card and we'll make an imprint of it, an imprint of the card as a deposit slip, and then have you to write in the amount and sign it. Remember how they used to do that with credit cards, where they would put it in the little thing and make a carbon copy of it, and then you would sign it. And some of y'all may not remember that, but that's how they used to do credit cards, where you would put it in this little machine and you run a weight across the carbon copy so that the numbers would imprint on the carbon copy. It was very manual. And then you would have whoever it was whose card it was, you would have them to fill in the amount of the action and then sign that piece of paper that has the card number and everything imprinted on it. And then the merchant would keep a copy of the carbon copy with your original signature on it. And they would give you a copy, and they would keep a copy for their records and take one copy to the bank and deposit that credit card transaction in the bank. So we don't need the readers and the chips and the strips. Our merchant cards don't have that on it yet. At some point they will, but right now our merchant cards are embossed, and all we do is either we could either take a photo of the merchant card and use that. Because so like if you, for example, if you have a merchant card and you sent me a picture of your ID and your merchant card,
right,
and you said, I approve $1,000 on this merchant card, and we say $1,000, but it could be any amount, $1,000 from this card, and you autograph that, then we could send the seall and then use that as, proof that you ordered it and that we pulled $1,000 from your card. But your records would have to show that $1,000 was pulled, and that's on your end, so that your recording is correct. And we would add $1,000 to ours based on the documentation that we have.
Because I remember you were explaining, how you had the reader that would go over, and I thought it was an actual machine. I thought I had missed something, but I do remember that part. So for going over that.
Yeah, we don't have
the
I
magnetic.
thought about getting, I thought about getting that black reader thing,
Right.
but something in my spirit didn't feel right about that.
Yeah.
So I just didn't do it because there's a way around it. There's a very easy way around it.
Okay, I gotcha. Well, thanks so much, Islam.
You're welcome, Islam Empress. There was a noble, Justice
Yes, Islam.
Justice Nate. Islam.
Yeah. I'm sitting here listening to everybody, and man, this is, to me, when I hear it, because I worked in corporations for like 15 years. So basically all of this that we're doing is bookkeeping. Everything has to match what you're doing. So it's two ways that you're banking. One way you're bookkeeping, and the other is electronic. Like I see you got it here. Electronic bookkeeping is basically you dealing with your electronics, like a computer, your phone, your laptop. That's electronic bookkeeping. And then the other hand, the regular bookkeeping is when you have your own ledger. Just like you just showed a little bit earlier. You showed and you just write in your information. And what you do is you send a copy to whatever financial institution that you're dealing with, and then they would adjust the books according to the Federal Reserve Act. That from the 12 USC 4006, I think it is. I can't remember exactly off the top of the head, but everything they cannot deny checks, deposits, stuff like that because of 12 USC 95A. All transfers, conveyances, all communications to the final institution, they have to adjust the books. They know that, and that's all that they do. Once we understand that, this thing becomes real simple to controlling your financial your financial what I'm looking for. Yeah, your financial vehicle, with your financial conveyance, really.
Yeah, your financial affairs, period, really.
Yeah, and it's real simple. We just got to read it, know the office.
Yep.
Like we've been doing, restate it competently, because what they're doing is everything they putting in the public, or you could go online and search it up, is an offer for you to be responsible. They're looking for responsible people that are competent, because even in the law, they know the so-called board of governors, they put in their paperwork, someone competent. They say these words, competent, and then writing. Every corporation has that insert in their bylaws or whatever they created for their structure. Do something in writing, or a competent one that has competent jurisdiction. So I just want to let the people know.
Thank you for that. One thing that I'm noticing as I'm doing these demonstrations where banking is concerned is that there's nobody who is saying you can't do that, you can't do that. There's nobody saying that. When we're competent, nobody's going to say anything. We move according to our will. It's just the system is just saying, hey, all you got to do is read and then state the procedure, state the process.
I tell you, you can't do it.
You don't even have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's already here. Just fix it, because it's not.
I tell you all the time that it doesn't work, Pauline.
I mean, we could show you some things that we already know would just expand everyone's mind by showing you what we've actually accomplished already in banking. it would really just, because it's what we were looking to see and to manifest. It's already manifested. But again, the system just wills that we take the time. Just take the time. Nobody's going to starve to death while we're looking at this and doing these demonstrations. Nobody's going to starve to death. No one. Okay. Stay in the spirit, and the spirit will make sure you have everything you will to have. Islam nobility.
I just want to share this because I've been studying a lot on the banking side, and one thing did stick out to me was the medallion stamp, right? Because I hear all our sleeping Moors talk about the medallion stamp and go get the medallion stamp, because what they was doing is they going to ask somebody permission. What we're doing is that we're actually controlling the system. So you can actually make your own medallion stamp from what I was researching. And you can certify your own documents with that, because all the medallion stamp is saying it's like it's an endorsement. It's an endorsement that is secured.
Dude, have you tried using Dollarium?
It's actually an official endorsement.
Yes, it's an official endorsement from a bank, right? Yeah. Now that it said that, it popped. The ancestors talked to me right there when I looked at a short little 11-minute video on it. I was like, oh wow, it just clicked. Like I'm like, oh, we are the bank. I could just do an official stamp on it and send it off to a financial institution, and all they're going to do is adjust the books, because that's their duty, according to the banking.
Are you there, nobility?
No, it sounds like an echo just now.
Oh,
yeah.
Sisters, bounce your church.
Somebody was saying something?
No, nobody was saying anything.
Yeah. So you with that medallion stamp, I can make my own medallion stamp, make my own instrument.
There they go.
Right there, yeah, that's it. Your own seal is the medallion stamp. It don't have to look like how they was doing it. The medallion stamp is actually your endorser.
That's it. And I put them on all of my Moorish on all of my documents on Moorish government letterhead. I put them, and then I also put them on my company nationalized document. I put one on there too, and emboss it with the same thing.
And that's what they were saying about the medallion stamp. The medallion stamp is something that is trusted. So again, they going back into trust. It's like this thing is so simple once you study exactly what they was doing, and then us being competent and being able to read, we can do it ourselves. We just gotta read what they did. And
why does Pauline still pay a mortgage then, you asshole? Hey, asshole.
They love you. They love you.
I'm talking to you, asshole.
They love you.
But I'm telling you, it's very simple. That's what I wanted to say. Islam.
Yeah. And for anyone who wills to use the same medallion that we use, the artwork is under all the videos. This is the Moorish National Republic Federal Government seal. And all we did was have an embosser made for it, and just see, the system is not even rebutting the things that we are doing. And we've done some things with lots of zeros and ones and zeros behind it. Lots. And the system just took it and swallowed it. Like, she said that this is what she, wanted to see reflect, shown here. Oh, well, we got to show it because she's doing everything right. The system won't tell you no, and I don't care if it's 500 million or $1 trillion. The system will not say no when you're doing it
Islam,
like I was stating.
Islam, can I say one last thing?
Sure, nobility.
And I also realized too when back when the empresses was asking if you don't have a bank account, can you make your own account number? Now I did some research on that, and you actually can. And what I found out is that a lot of these so-called banks, calling themselves banks, they're really financial institutions. What they've been using this whole entire time, they've been using the post office. You know, they've been using the post office. They've been using the certified mail receipt as an account number because I seen that number on a check that they created to do their fraudulent mortgages. and all it is they backed it up with documentation. So it's like everything is spoken by affidavit, and we know the system that goes off of maxims of laws, right?
Yeah.
So when you do an affidavit, it stands as truth when it's unrebutted. So if you do an affidavit expressing to them that this certified account number is now the bank number that I'm going to be using, the financial institution has to accept it anyway because of the rules that they have to go by. Everything is accepted. All applications is accepted according to the Federal Reserve Act, Section 16, Part 1 and 2. So it's like once you know these things, they can't get around it. Islam.
You know, nobility, I'm grateful that you made that statement as well, because I'm going to tell you that I saw one of the biggest leaps forward for us when we did these two videos right here, where we showed where we started showing all of these right here, all of these numbers. This was proof that we had bank accounts everywhere for everything that we did. Every one of these was a deposit. And we got all of these back at all levels, whether we were the consulate, the United States, the Travel and Transportation Ministry, no matter what title we had or have, all of them came back. And we saw a giant leap forward when we published all of those numbers and things. Something broke open so huge when we did that, that it was just, I knew that that was an answer. I knew that was something we, you know, I'm grateful that we did that. Because we saw something major happen, something major break open. So we would encourage you all, if you have your green return receipt slips, just do a quick publishing of them and watch how things open up for you, knowing that you've been keeping good records, because that's really what this is about, is keeping good records, doing post office banking. Yes, just as Kyle says, postal banking. Yes, those are all accounts that we can use at any time, and it's on the public record. So with that being stated, that is all that we have at this time. Those who willed to do a statement on the actually not the statement, but the gold, the trade launch. If you would, those who are doing the trade launch, if you would stay on for just another minute or two, this won't take long. We will to get just a little bit more information from you. We're not going to be publishing out there.
Ooh, the 20?
Without your agreement. But let me say this. If you'll notice, the subjects in the office of court jesters, when they come in, they try to make everything seem like it's really small, but they are not going to explain to you that there were only 30-something, 20 or 30 or 40 signatures on the quote-unquote Constitution, and how it only takes a few sovereigns to change the whole earth. It takes a few of us. That's all it takes, a remnant. So those who are going to be participating in the trade launch, if you would stay on the line, stay here at Congress for just a few minutes, we will go ahead and adjourn.
Nate nigga married to a cow.
Islam
nobility.
Yes, my name is James. I was listening in on my device over an hour earlier, but I could never get through. And then I was just trying to let you guys know that I'm interested in participating around March the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. My birthday is on the 19th, so yeah, my born day. Mm-hmm. Okay. But I didn't get the chance to get through to you earlier because for some reason I couldn't get my voice to come through on my device earlier.
Okay, we're glad you stayed, Justice, so that we could make a note of it. What's your appellation, nobility?
You can call me James or Supreme, either one. My nickname is Supreme. My government name or given name is James.
This day don't mean a fucking thing.
It's Justice James Supreme.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Are you Bay Al Ali Day?
No, but I've been studying since I was for over 20 years. Came into contact
20 in
with
this day don't mean a fucking thing.
Since the year 2000. So yeah, 25 years now. I've been studying the straw man, the birth certificate, and then the indigenous rights and stuff like that. And I'm real aware of the Moors, the L's, and the Bays. I think the L make the law and the Bay enforce it, or vice versa.
That's correct.
But I've been studying for a long time. I guess I haven't been quick to move on a lot of the information because I'm really just a cautious mover, moves with caution. But now I'm at that time now. I'm at age 46 to where I'm actually ready to start doing stuff. I just got a new truck recently, and then my old truck it got wrecked, but I had done an audit on it, and I found out a bunch of stuff, about the securities and stuff like that. So I'm ready to move forward with some complaints and lawsuits and rewriting, like you had said, rewrite it, restate it, a bunch of restating, and then I'm ready to do my status too for my passport. Yeah, ready to do my passport. I'm working on that right now as we speak. So
cool beans. Well, we have you.
Just let you know I support. Go ahead.
We have you for the 20th, 21st, and 22nd, and again, we're just doing a trade launch using our.
And is this going to be just digital, or is this just going to be digital, or should I visit the state or city or whatever?
Well, we are going to do physical things out. So, for example, we're going to have our sea salt set up here, and then there was several who were going to send some things so we could put their stuff out here. But then everyone at their territories, it's going to be a starting point. So if you have, let's just say you have 10 items, only 10 that you're willing to exchange for gold, silver, or Moorish sovereign Dollarium, or for something that one of us has, like sea salt or something like that, then on those 3 days, we put those things out and say, hey, we're doing gold, silver, and Moorish sovereign Dollarium. That's what this is. This is a trade launch, and
Yep. Well, I'm a contractor. I speak Spanish fluently. I have a lot of tools and a lot of resources. I have a lot of Hispanic guys that rebuild and remodel houses for me. So that's kind of what my trade is, but I'll see if I can come up with something that fits into actual tangible items and stuff like that. But I have a lot of tools. I have a lot of knowledge on rebuilding and remodeling houses and restoration after hurricanes and disasters.
Let me ask you and I'm just this is just a suggestion. If you have any older tools, and you might not think that they're worth anything, but if you'll just set those tools out that day on a small for that 3 days on a small table, and then also we're going to be publishing what each one has at the territories as well.
Gotcha. So we just take pictures of it and upload it to you?
Yes, we're going to do that on probably, we will probably meet that Thursday and put photos out of and upload it here to let everybody know what everybody has. Because see, we really will that it be a physical launch.
Okay.
We have enough virtual stuff going on. We now will that it be for everyone to be just a digital launch. I mean a real physical launch.
Okay. Yeah, well, I got a camper and I got a truck. I can pretty much be mobile and go anywhere.
Okay. So then, nobility, we would just, however your spirit leads you to manifest that. If you have services that you're willing to do, gold, silver, and Moorish sovereign Dollarium, for just for those 3 days, the services for just those 3 days, then that be it. Or if you have some tools, you will to trade.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. All righty. Well, I'll tell you what, it was
Go ahead, nobility.
Yeah, it was a pleasure listening to the Congress tonight. I try to catch y'all every Sunday. But I think it's like maybe my second time or third time, but I'm doing it through my friend and business partner here. She's been with you for a while, but I met her. I'll tell you the story on how me and her met one day.
Okay. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you.
The universe and the ancestors bringing us together.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We can feel the energy coming from there. It's great energy.
Oh yeah. I've been the coolest person on the planet since I can remember.
Wow. Indeed.
All righty. Well, I guess I'm what do you know? What does she know you by? Amora. Okay, so I'm gonna turn the phone back over to Amora. And Light, I've been watching a lot of your videos and stuff like that, and I follow what you do and support what you do. And I'm coming along myself. Wish I was on the level that you're on, but I'm gonna get there, and maybe one day we'll be able to meet.
Okay, Islam nobility. Thank you so much. And
you're so welcome.
Thank you as well.
Yeah, here she is.
That's it. I'm not shy.
Mrs. Moore, thank you so much as well.
You're welcome, and thank you for the launch.
Yes.
Maybe next year I'll join along with the launch, but probably not this year.
Yeah. Islam.
Yeah. Islam. Thank you.
Islam, nobility.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. It's Zanaria Zumu Hotep Bay from Arizona Territory. I just want everybody to know I put some of my documents on the public record on TikTok, and I got a lot of response from that. A lot of people's reading those documents. I was surprised.
Nobility, did you say something about, we can barely hear you. I don't know why it's so, the volume is very, very low.
Can you hear me now?
It's a little bit better, but not much. But let me just affirm that you will to be on the list for the trade launch. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's better. I don't know what you just did, but that's better.
And I just turned the car off.
Oh. So we will put you on the list as well for the launch.
Yeah, just remind me, I'm a spiritual healer and an artist. I do design my own clothing. So I may could do a trade on some of that and some of my spiritual healing gift. I may do something like that.
Okay. Whatever your spirit leads you to do. Whatever your spirit leads you to do. And at least you will, on that day, be letting everyone know that you have things that you will to present to the nation.
Right, absolutely.
You know, it's a great opportunity to, they say market your products, and we spell marketing a little different. But yes, Islam.
I was saying that I put some of my documents on the public record on TikTok, because they probably shut down TikTok. I don't know what they're gonna do with that. I just put some on there, but I got a lot of response from a lot of other Moors or nobles out there on TikTok. I was surprised to see that.
When you say close down TikTok, is that something that you heard?
No. They've been talking about shutting it down since last summer.
Yeah.
Here in North America, I don't think they're going to do it though. I don't think so.
Well, what's going to happen is it's going to be nationalized, and so it's going to shut down for everyone who's using the fiat platform, and then for everyone who has proclaimed nationality, it will be available to them, to us. We just talked about that last week. Everything that is U.S.based is going to have to come to a halt, and the nationalizing of it has already begun. We've already nationalized much of those platforms. You know, we've nationalized quite a few of them.
Yeah, I missed a couple. I'm kind of a couple of classes behind. I'm kind of like catch up. But yeah, I did heard the recording a couple, like yesterday, that you talked about that. Something about Elon Musk was talking about the national debt, something like that. Yeah, I heard that.
Well, they owe the nationals. So it's their debt, and so what we're stating that will happen because we are the creditors, is that the debt platforms stop operating, and that those same platforms, not the same ones, but the nationalized versions of those platforms, be operational. So all we're doing is leaning the debtors, which just it's just a statement that says we know who the creditors are and we know who the debtors are. And then we say, okay, all of the equipment that Facebook and YouTube and all of the equipment that they were using is our equipment, not their equipment, because we're the creditors. So their ability to use it as debtors is terminated. And then all of that equipment continues to operate as creditor equipment. That means it does what we state that it does.
Correct.
You know, so things like shadow banning of Moorish YouTube channels and things like that, all of that stops. It's already in the process. It's already in the works. It's already done, because we're seeing a difference even with the things that we're doing. And then any monetization that happens in the future on YouTube and things like that is going to be gold, silver, Moorish sovereign Dollarium, and any of the other creditor platforms that we nationalized. We've already leaned and levied the blockchain and Bitcoin and all of that. So they will be operational from the creditor perspective, but it has to operate according to our will. So we have to write the policies on how that works. So this has been some ministry work, I will tell you that, where we stop the fiat from working, and then we start the equipment to work properly and the system to work properly, but we have to know how it works and then tell it what to do. So that's been the work, and it's working very well, to be quite frank with you, to be free with you.
Wow, I just had one more question and interest. Are we still going to be doing like a course or a class on the bond levy? And
on that?
Yeah. Yes, we will. Our suggestion is that you go back to the ones that we've done already. Like there's a video, the post office video, where we did a lien, levy, and bond. It's about a 47-minute video. It's very short compared to the majority of our videos. That video, both in the video and underneath the video, is the lien, levy, and bond process.
Okay.
So that one video has all three processes there, and it shows you how to do them. And then there are the actual lien, levies, and bonds are under there, are posted under there, under that video.
Yeah, I also the deed trust for this state, Arizona. I'm for the official one, but what is the difference between the deed and the deed trustee? What is the difference?
The difference is only what you call it.
Okay, so with the lien, the levy, and the bond, and the deed trust specifically, I would have to restate that.
It has to be restated. It has to be restated.
Okay, yeah, because I was looking at it, was like it's a lot of reading. It's a lot of reading on there. I've seen it.
A lot of that stuff won't be applicable. A lot of it won't even be. You can shorten it greatly.
Right. I thought
a lot of that is colorability. It's just color of law and color of,
Yeah,
color.
Right.
So,
okay, well.
Thank you, Nobility. What we do is we suggest that you make the work easier on you, shorten it, shorten all of that stuff. Take the colorability out. Start with the basics, and then as you watch the system operate, add things to it later. But pull all that colorability out and just make sure that basic operations are taken care of in your procedures. That's what we do, because we have so much paperwork and documentation to do, and we will do it, all of it. It's just a matter of, Oh, oops, sorry, Justice Shiraki Bay. I inboxed you what I was trying to put. I was trying to put it out here for Empress, the Empress who inboxed me to see. There. Empress Lineal. That is for you and any of the other Moors who will to have our contact information. So what we were going to do is we were going to get contact information for each one who's going to be a part of the March 20th, 21st, and 22nd trade launch. At least an email or a mailing location or a phone number or something, some type of contact information for you. That's what we were going to do. So what we'll do is adjourn and get some of that information from those who are going to be a part of the March 20th, 21st, and 22nd trade launch. Peace and grand rising to the sovereign, original, indigenous, natural, divine heirs. Islam.
Grand rising. Gratitude, Moorish.
Islam.
Islam.
Grand rising.
Islam. Grand rising. Islam.